On behalf of Compass Minerals, we would like to thank you for your interest in Trax DDP nutrients. This presentation is designed to help you, the fertilizer dealer, incorporate Trax DDP nutrients into your batch fertilizer blending system. We'll cover how DDP nutrients attach to the dry fertilizer, where to add the DDP in your system, how to determine the correct amount to blend, and we will give you best practices for handling and product blending tips. Handling DDP nutrients in granular fertilizer batch blenders is quite simple. There are many different types of batch blenders made by different manufacturing companies. Batch blenders can include horizontal rotary mixer styles or upright screw types. Regardless of the brand of batch blending system you are using, the following information should help you to easily incorporate DDP nutrients or Trax P+ into your operations. Before we start to discuss how to add DDP nutrients or dry dispersible powders to your blender, it's important for you to understand our patented even coat technology. Trax DDP nutrients are formulated as a dry dispersible powder and are designed to adhere to dry fertilizer granules. Coating occurs in two easy steps. The surface of a dry fertilizer during blending will take on an electrostatic charge. As the DDP particles approach the energized surface of the granule, the charge will attract the DDP particles, which will quickly coat and stick onto the surface of the prill. DDP is formulated to not stick to itself. Therefore, only a single layer of micronutrient is coated onto the fertilizer granule. Once a prill is fully coated, the DDP nutrients seek new granules to coat. As you can see, after blending, you will end up with each and every fertilizer prill coated with micronutrient. This results in consistent and even application across your customers' fields. Once the DDP particles have been coated onto the dry fertilizer granules, it will stay coated on the granules, even with handling, transportation, or spreading. As you can see here, no residue remains on the hand that was holding the coated fertilizer product. The sample shown here was coated over 3 months previous to when these pictures were taken. The DDP coated fertilizer blend was put in a jar, and as you can see, even after being shaken, the DDP nutrient stays adhered to the fertilizer granules. However, once the fertilizer blend is applied to the field, and as soon as it comes in contact with moisture in the soil, the finely divided DDP particles will disperse, making the nutrients readily plant available for fast uptake. Now that we know the basic process of DDP fertilizer coating, let's look at how to make it work best for you in your batch blender. First, it's important to determine where to add the DDP. Is there a spot on your blender where you can easily add the products? For example, DDP product can be added into the whey hopper or directly into the blender mouth, as can be seen here. In this other type of blender, DDP product could be added into the granular dump hopper or directly into the top of the blender. Adding DDP to the front-end loader bucket is another method to get DDP to the whey hopper or the blend intake hopper. However, please ensure you do not add the DDPs alone. Always add DDPs to a granular fertilizer when using a front-end loader bucket. For tower blenders, or cases where the entry point is not easily accessible from the ground, such as in this one pictured here, many customers use a Trax microcharger. The microcharger is capable of conveying 100 pounds of Trax product up to 100 feet vertically. The system has been designed for fast loading of Trax product and conveys product without any bridging issues. All units have been engineered and certified for use across the USA and Canada. The microcharger convey process works as follows. Turn a lever to open the top 8-inch butterfly valve. Load the pre-weighted Trax products, close the valve, pressurize the microcharger to 40 to 80 psi, and open the bottom convey line valve. It will take about 10 to 30 seconds for all the product to be conveyed up. Depending on your type of blender and the other products in the blend, there are different recommended methods for adding the DDP to the blend. We recommend that you fill the blender 1/2 to 2/3 or even 3/4 full with granular NPK and S products. Add the required amount of DDP micronutrient and then add the remaining granular fertilizer. This creates a sandwich type effect. By adding DDP nutrients in the middle of the blending process, you get thorough coverage throughout your finished blend. A handy tip here, if one of the granular products is dusty, please make sure you put this into the blender as the last product. Once you've determined where the DDP will go in, the next step is to determine the correct rate of DDP nutrients to add. Because DDP nutrients get coated on each and every fertilizer granule, the micronutrients get evenly distributed across the soil profile. As a result, the traditional soil test recommendations need to be converted. Here's an example using a real soil test. Soil test results show that this soil is low in zinc. For a 150 bushel per acre crop of corn, the soil test recommendation is for 3 pounds of actual zinc per acre. Now, how do we determine the correct amount of Trax zinc DDP to use in order to achieve this 3 pounds of actual per acre? Trax has developed a chart for easy conversions called the DDP rate conversion chart. You can obtain this chart from your Compass Minerals sales representative or on the Trax dealer portal. The numbers in yellow across the top are pounds per acre of actual nutrient you are trying to achieve based on your soil test recommendations. In this situation, you will locate the soil test recommendation across the top, 3 pounds per acre. Follow that down to find the rate recommendation for zinc DDP. This example demonstrates that for a recommendation of 3 pounds per acre actual zinc, you will need 0.54 pounds or 8.6 ounces of DDP per acre. For best results, make sure the correct amount of DDP is added to the blend. Do not mix more than 16 pounds per ton or 0.8% of DDP per total blend weight, as that is the maximum holding capacity of DDP nutrients on dry fertilizer. Any additional DDP that is added will simply not have a place to adhere and will fall through, wasted from the blend, as can be seen here. Once you know how much you need, it's important to have a reliable measurement system in place. There are a few methods for accurately weighing proper amounts of DDP fertilizer into your blends. To start, the Trax DDP nutrients come in convenient packaging of 20 or 40 pound boxes. Many customers use a hand scoop or a measuring cup to move DDP from the package to a pail placed on a scale. Calibrated containers are also often used. For example, a bucket can be filled with DDP nutrients and weighed. The appropriate fill line is then identified on the inside of the container. When using this method, avoid compacting the material. DDP nutrients all have different densities, and therefore separate measurement containers for each DDP nutrient are needed. If you're handling over 2 pallets of a single type of DDP per year, the Trax Hefty Pack dispenser is an efficient system for measuring out DDP. The Hefty Pack dispenser includes a drum cone that has a measuring auger attached to it. The cone is placed and sealed on an open drum. The drum then gets lifted and flipped onto a stand using a forklift-mounted drum handler. To accurately measure product, place your container over the pre-tiered scale. Simply turn the hand crank on the screw feeder and stop turning once the target weight is hit on the scale. The system allows for excellent dust containment and highly accurate measurement of the product. Now we will address some commonly asked questions about adding DDP to a blend. We're often asked, is it necessary to increase blending time when DDP nutrients are added to a fertilizer blend? DDP nutrients are designed to disperse very rapidly and quickly adhere to the fertilizer granules within the blend. For best results, blend times should not be increased beyond the manufacturer's recommendation. However, if DDP nutrients are new to your operation, we recommend that you monitor the results of the first few batches and adjust the blending time if necessary. Will I see a lot of dust while using DDP nutrients? Well, when blended correctly, you should not see an increase in dust. Dry fertilizer always contains some dust. When you first add the DDP, you may notice a blooming as it searches for granules to attach itself to. DDP is designed so that it will not stick to itself. So once a granule is fully coated, it seeks an uncoated granule to hook onto. During the blending process, it will move around while it's unattached. This is normal and will only take a few seconds to dissipate. If your fertilizer is particularly dusty, you can add a small amount of crop or vegetable oil to the blend, typically not more than 1 quart per ton. Can I use more than one DDP product in the same blend, for example, zinc DDP and copper DDP? The answer is absolutely yes. Some crop types and soil recommendations require multiple micronutrients to be applied to a blend. DDP blends very well together and have no antagonism towards one another. Keep in mind that the sum of the DDPs added cannot exceed the 16 pounds per ton or 0.8% of DDP for total blend weight. You should now have all the information you need to successfully incorporate Trax DDP nutrients into your batch blending operation. Remember, best use practices, rate conversion charts, and other valuable information can also be found on the Trax dealer portal at wolftrax.com/dealers. For additional support in adding DDP nutrients to your blend, contact your Compass Minerals sales representative or call us at 1-855-237-9653. Thank you for joining us and viewing today's presentation.